The Earth lashes out at us with many fearsome forces. Big waves, fire, wind. We clearly see these as a threat. But in the Rocky Mountains, while thousands flock to enjoy the beautiful white powder that makes for superb skiing and hiking, the gentle snowfalls are quietly creating the conditions for a mountain adventurer's worst nightmare: avalanche. If you love fresh powder skiing or exhilarating backcountry hiking, then the Canadian Rocky Mountains is the place to be. Gorgeous peaks, covered in a massive white blanket, provide the ultimate mountain experience. But the large snowfalls that help create this wonderland also present a huge danger. As snow builds up, the risk of avalanches increases, sometimes with devastating results. Every year, there are dozens of avalanche fatalities around the world.
In all my years of tornado chasing, I've learned that Oklahoma City is the capital of Tornado Alley. But when it comes to avalanches, Revelstoke, British Columbia is the capital of Avalanche Alley. They get more avalanches here than just about anywhere else in the world.
As the Earth's climate changes, the warming oceans may bring deeper snowpacks to the mountains, creating even more danger.
It's a great day for skiing. The snow is beautiful. Visibility is not so great because it's kind of hard to see with all the snow coming down. But that's why I'm here, I'm here for avalanches. This snow is really going to contribute to the avalanche danger. Skiers like these guys, snowmobilers, you get hikers, mountain climbers. These are the people that are really in danger from avalanches.
Here in Western Canada, there's an army of people using science, teamwork, and some, well, unusual methods to keep us safe from avalanches. But in spite of all the efforts to stop big slides from occurring, tragedy can still strike. The story of Francois Desrochers and Shane Block is a worst-case scenario for mountain adventurers.
We were a group of 5 friends who were heading up Mount McDonald's West Shoulder, December 7th, 1999. My good friend Shane Block picked me up and we headed up towards Rogers Pass, British Columbia, is where we do all of our backcountry skiing and mountaineering. We had checked in with the warden station. We were informed that the avalanche hazards were rated at moderate, which means that avalanches are possible, but on a large scale, it's not very probable that a huge slide would be triggered. It was about 3 hours up when I started to notice the quality of the snow started to change. It became like styrofoam, and it seemed like it was losing its strength the higher up we got.
It's these changes in snow conditions that cause avalanches. Avalanche researchers have developed a technique called snow profiling, a series of tests which help determine when conditions are right for slides.
I'm with Bruce and Dave here from the Applied Snow and Avalanche Research Group based out of the University of Calgary. Today's lesson, Shoveling 101. We're digging into the snow, doing a bit of an analysis of the snowpack to see how likely it is that this snow is going to slide.
Avalanche expert Bruce Jameson has been studying snow conditions for over 20 years.
Most of the avalanches that affect people and property are slab avalanches, and that means they start with a fracture on a weak layer within the snowpack. We have good tests and have had for decades for fracture initiation for whether a skier, a snowmobiler, or a snowboarder is going to start a fracture. In this case, we want to cut at least 1 meter down through the snow because we're interested in weak layers. Sometimes these tests will find a weak layer that we don't even know about. So we got George down below me. Dave
We cut
over
out
there.
a section of the snow for our test.
This layer was buried about 8 days ago, and this layer is the one we're really looking at. It was buried about 3 weeks ago.
I was at the back of the pack. I was probably 20, 25 minutes behind the leader. When I heard the sound of it releasing, it was like dynamite. The ground shook, everything moved. I mean, you had no choice but to acknowledge that something huge just happened. The avalanche was over 1 kilometer wide. It was a Class 3 avalanche, and it was enormous. When I looked up, I saw an avalanche, a wall of snow, over 10 feet high, barreling down at me so fast. I was thinking to myself, get your pack off, get your backpack off. And all you're doing is spinning around and around and around in the dark. And you can't breathe the whole time. You're trying to breathe, but you can't breathe. It's like being underwater, you're drowning.
This is the Trans-Canada Highway, and it's the main artery that runs right through the Rocky Mountains, right through avalanche territory. Now, it's the British Columbia Department of Highways' responsibility to make sure that this road is safe for drivers. And they'll actually create their own avalanches to bring down the snow before it actually accidentally falls and takes out cars on the road.
There aren't a lot of driving options for getting through the Rockies. So how do you keep the Trans-Canada Highway, one of the most avalanche-prone stretches of road in the world, safe from the dangerous snow? This is a question Bruce Allen must answer every day.
There are a number of ways to control avalanches. First of all, you can close a highway, but it's my highway. It's quite expensive to close it, tens of thousands of dollars an hour. So if you want to close it and control avalanches so you can open the highway sooner, safer, then there's a number of methods. I use a lot of helicopters.
Helicopters are a really efficient way to get around in the mountains. Landing this aircraft in 6 feet of fresh powder is treacherous, but it's the only way to service the remote-controlled mortars located in some of the toughest terrain anywhere. Here's another use for helicopters that's even more exciting.
Okay. We're going to do what's called helicopter explosive control. This is a high-speed explosive. It goes at 2,200 feet per second, which is really quick. We're going to go up in a helicopter. We're going to take the charges and drop them out of the helicopter onto the slopes and initiate an explosion, which will initiate an avalanche, hopefully. You would think, oh, that must be expensive, but it's quite an economical way to control avalanches because although the machine may cost you $1,500 an hour, you can throw a lot of bombs at 40 bucks a bomb out of that helicopter. Now, the one downside of helicopter bombing is sometimes it's a bit risky. When they give us clearance, we'll spark up.
Now this is a cool job. And Bruce is very good at it. He knows exactly where to bomb to start a slide. With the highway closed, we're free to let the snow fly.
I take care of 300 kilometers of highway, so it's quite mobile. You get in a helicopter and you can be somewhere in an hour and be doing avalanche control with very little equipment and very little manpower. So every different type of explosive control has an application.
Here's a method of avalanche control that's even more unique.
I think that's an interesting thing.
This one piece will make 52 layers.
Watch on mobile devices or the big screen. All for free. No subscription required.
Sometimes, when you have a tough job to do, you call in the armed forces. Their method of avalanche control is to shoot the snow out of the mountains using artillery power.
It's a 105mm howitzer.
Elevation 584.
This giant gun is so powerful and accurate, it can hit slabs of snow miles away in the mountains.
Okay, so they're loaded up, just about ready to fire. It's very serious business. They shut down the whole Trans-Canada Highway for this. The idea is to create a bunch of man-made small avalanches so that big avalanches don't come down and take out people driving on the road here on the Trans-Canada Highway.
Elevation 535. So this is definitely a unique operation, and it's something different, especially for gunners to do. You know, we get to fire the gun still, but we're firing in the mountains, which is a lot different for us. Correct, load! We usually have results reported to us. Fire! How big the avalanche was, how wide it was, what sort of distance it got. So we get a good idea. And also there are times when the avalanche actually comes down onto our position, which is called being dusted, which you definitely know you've gotten a result then. The traffic closures can be a little upsetting for the people who don't really know what's going on when we're firing. But overall, they're pretty understanding, especially a lot of the transport drivers. They've come through here a lot, and of course, they know it's for their own safety. Fire! 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 Fire!
Sometimes I can't believe the stuff I get to do.
Fire! For free! Fire!
That is so unbelievably loud. Like, even with these on, my ears are still ringing.
Now it's time to clean up the road and move on to the next target.
Okay, well that was off the hook cool. Actually getting to fire that big cannon. How often do you get to do that? That's just absolutely amazing. And then seeing these huge clouds of snow coming down almost on top of us. At one point, we actually got dusted by one of these avalanches. Just totally amazing. The amount of precision involved with their aiming, they know exactly where to shoot, they know exactly what the snow conditions are like, and they can pretty much predict exactly where these avalanches are gonna be. So they got a lot of skill, these guys. I give them a lot of respect. But they got a cool job. There was just an avalanche right up there. Just missed it. You can still see a bit of the snow hanging in the air from where it came crashing down the mountain. That's a backcountry ski area. There could be people up there.
Francois Desrochers knows exactly what happens when you're caught in a tsunami of snow and ice. He and friend Shane Block were trapped in a giant slide in Rogers Pass.
You know, avalanches travel at over 120 kilometers per hour at times, and when a body goes down through a forest in an avalanche, it strikes everything in its path, and so it doesn't matter how strong or how fit you are, it's gonna break you. So knowing that Shane was about 30, 40 feet away and I had no idea where anybody else was, I was like, okay, well, I'm on my own here and I have to get myself out of this. So I started to try to dig myself out. There was blood everywhere. There was no way that I could get myself out of the situation that I was in. It just so happened that that day on the same mountain, there was an avalanche course being given. And on the course, they were studying the snow and digging snow profiles and that sort of thing. They all had to run out of the way. Now, they knew that there was people up on the mountainside, and so they gathered all their equipment and all their forces and raced up to come to our rescue.
When you're in trouble on the mountain, these are the people you want to see coming.
Penny, go somewhere in CPR and I'll give you a better idea on shots when we get up top.
It's 7 a.m. at Kicking Horse Mountain Resort, and the avalanche control and safety team is getting their morning briefing from team leader Mike Rubenstein.
Wyvez, do you want to just go into bowl over and check out the Tower 20 roll? Maximum gust of 109 kilometers an hour, and another gust of 95 kilometers. For the South Columbia, 8 mils today, 2 mils tonight, and 17 mils tomorrow. So, bring it on. Thank you.
The avalanche danger is high today,
Okay, I'll call him in 1.
so Mike and the team head for the slopes to patrol, train in rescue techniques, and, well, you guessed it, they're gonna blow up some snow. Along with all their other duties, these patrollers have to be experts with high explosives.
You can't cut over to Terminator doubleheader yet through Liberty Lake, because there's going to be explosive control going on there.
We just had the early morning avalanche briefing, and there's going to be thousands of people coming up the mountainside today. It's a long weekend, and there is an avalanche risk. There was 10 centimeters of fresh snow last night, and they got to clear out some of this with explosives before the people hit the slopes.
Right now we're at the top of the ski hill, and going down from here in 360 degrees, we're into avalanche terrain. One of the tests we do is cornice control. So we'll try to kick a bit of cornice onto a slope below, and if it releases the slope below, then things might be unstable. That's just one piece of information we can use in assessing what we need to do for the day. Slope below looks good.
Mike checks the rest of the runs, then orders explosive control to bring down a series of large snowpacks.
So here's the latest piece of safety equipment. It's the avalanche airbag system, and it's kind of like a parachute in that it's got a ripcord, you pull on it, but instead of a parachute opening, there's a nitrogen canister inside. That inflates 2 large balloons. Now, the concept is, if you're in an avalanche, it'll float you to the top so that you don't sink in the snow and suffocate.
Meanwhile, I join in a simulated rescue mission using electronic beacons, probes, and some help from Lava, the canine search and rescue wizard.
So in this area right here? Yeah. You guys are fast. So they're zeroing in on the target right now. They're actually breaking out the avalanche probes, seeing if they can feel the target under the snow. We're not sure how deep. Oh, got a hit right off the bat. Got it. I got a hit. No time to waste. So now the dog is searching, sniffing around, seeing if she can come up with another buried victim without a beacon. Their natural sense of smell is so amazing. They can find someone buried several meters under the snow. It's just incredible, absolutely amazing. The next task for the rescue dog is a live burial. So we need a willing volunteer to actually be buried in the snow and have the dog sniff them out. Guess who that volunteer is going to be? In a real avalanche situation, I'd be so packed in, be extremely claustrophobic. Release the hounds. We'll see how long it takes for this dog to find me. Not very long. There she is. How long did it take for her to find me?
Not long. She went right for you.
Now that's amazing. It took the dog maybe 27 seconds to find me. Unbelievable that they have such a good sense of smell.
Being in this hole, not being able to get out, and all of a sudden having all these people race up the mountainside and come and rescue you was pretty amazing. To hear them coming was like putting a warm blanket on when you're cold. It's just a very reassuring thought. It was like I'm being saved here. They dug me out of the holes and bandaged me up, and they put me in a helicopter and started flying me towards a hospital. And in the helicopter, they told me Shane didn't make it off the mountain. He received similar injuries, but all to the insides of his body. He died there on the mountain that day. I am a direct example of what happens when things go wrong. And because in the mountains, it's always fun and smiles and good friends and everything is great. And people tend to forget about the dangers.